Episode 23?
How close should I?
I don't know.
Right here.
What are we on?
Okay.
Is this episode 23, right? Jordan was 21. You were 22.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
23.
I'm so nervous.
It's okay. Just
Why
be
you-
nice and open and
what are you
informed.
doing,
Yeah, just share your heart, dude.
Oh, what?
Okay. Ready?
You guys have to ask me questions.
Okay.
I'm gonna get distracted
Yeah, just
by things outside.
do your thing.
Do I
Just
have to
do
look
your
at the
thing.
camera?
Yeah.
When I
Only in the
talk?
beginning.
No,
only in the
you're looking
beginning.
too
Only in the beginning.
Oh, right now? Okay, we're looking at the camera.
We're having a conversation.
Yeah. So, should I like?
Yeah, you could do that. That's good. That's good. That's
This
good.
all should go in.
Do you want it to go in?
That'd be cool.
Okay. Ready?
Yup.
Okay. Yup. Okay, here we go. Welcome, BC casters. Wait, what were they called? What were they called?
The cast.
Welcome BC.
The cast.
Welcome BC.
Welcome to BT Pro.
Procast.
Procast.
It's good
Thank
to
you guys for watching the cast or something like that. I think it'd be like.
Thank you for watching, cast. Today, in episode 23, we have an absolute banger.
Episode what?
Episode 23.
That's crazy.
Episode
That's 23 weeks in a row.
23 weeks.
That is really crazy.
In the row.
Isn't it? Remember when we had haters that said we wouldn't get past 6?
Ooh, we should call him out right now.
Okay. I'm just joking.
Right.
Don't worry. His name is long enough
not
that
even-
they won't even know.
They're not even gonna watch.
They're not even going to watch it. But today we have an absolute banger with the one, the only, the person that makes me smile and makes me...
What's this up?
Okay. Well, now you just ended the compliment. No, I'm just kidding. Someone who genuinely makes my heart skip a beat.
Okay.
Someone who makes me super happy.
That's sweet.
And Jayla's here as well. So
And my sister.
that's not the joke.
Okay.
I was like saying I was going off it.
Oh, I get it. Cut that
But,
out.
well, we don't do cuts in this
Oh,
podcast.
okay.
Don't say anything that you don't want us to cut because we don't cut. We only cut once,
So I gotta really be
and
careful
that's
with what I say.
actually for like a professional comedian. We cut. Wait, can I say we cut something?
I don't know. It's
Nah,
probably,
we
it's
didn't-
probably,
That's kind of
it's probably
awkward. We're gonna have to
noticeable.
cut this
It's
right
noticeable that
now.
we cut it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we've cut twice.
Okay.
One was because
Oh,
someone.
okay.
Yeah. We cut twice, but today is an absolute banger.
Ew.
Welcome everybody. I know Nikki is gonna be clapping and
What's
screaming.
up, nitty girl?
I know she's gonna. That's what you call her,
G.
Ninny girl. You don't just call her Ninny. Jayla Yarunacek. Jayla, you don't clap.
Oh.
So we had her on before, but we felt like we didn't do due diligence about who she is, because it was a what was it, a Christmas special?
It was a girlfriend's Christmas special.
Girlfriend's Christmas special.
Yeah,
And we didn't even talk about Christmas.
Yeah, we plan on taking those two both amazing human beings, and devoting a full episode to each individual one. So.
And this is Jayla Yarunacek. So Jayla, you gave a little bit of yourself last time, but
I did.
give a real one. You
Okay,
said a
like
barista.
who I am,
Yeah, like
what
and
I
what you
do.
do. Like what is and what's your passion? Tell us what your passion is.
Amazing. I'm Jayla. I'm Braedon's sister, his younger sister, but I always get actually mistaken for his older sister. That's what's up. And I'm Caeden's girlfriend. And I'm a barista at our. Should I look at the camera?
Yeah, you're
Okay, 'cause
introducing
you
yourself
know
to them.
me. Okay. I'm a barista at our church's coffee shop. Well, our church doesn't own it, but kind of. Brew 52. I'm not going to say location. I was about to say location. I can't do that, right?
No, we're in Missouri.
We're in Missouri. Okay. And then I am over the music team at our church.
Worship director, right?
Yes.
So, do you have anything you want to start us off with, or should we just go right into it? So Jayla is a person with many talents, and one thing that's just super obvious, and she just outshines Braedon and I with, not when we're together. When we're singing together, it's a different story. But she has an absolute beautiful voice, unbelievable, and it's anointed. So my first question, just to start out light, Braedon also doesn't like that I do this, so I'm gonna like
You're tapping. You're going like this.
rewind it to let me know if I did that. I don't think I did.
Comment down below.
Comment down below if I did that.
Comment down below if you did
I don't
that.
think I did that. But when did you realize that you just had the most gifted talent, the most envy? Was it called envy talent?
Here, let me ask you a question.
Maybe Braedon should ask this question.
This is coming from someone that truly admires her. Of course, he's gonna be doing that. Anyway, question for you. So you've grown up in church. Our parents, your parents, our parents, have been really involved with a lot of music. So we've grown up around a lot of music, and it's been a huge influence. Starting from us in the car jamming to a live and transported album concert of Toby Mac, to sing a lot of rap songs. I think our dad did like Christian rap songs. I think our dad did a very good job at really exposing us to a lot of music in a lot of different genres. And I think that heavily influenced our family, because look at everyone in our family, not even just ours, but the other Yannicheks and cousins. Like, music is such a big staple when it comes to our family events. We're singing around a piano or a guitar. Like, every family holiday, it's like, all right, Jayla, bring the guitar, let's sing. It's such a staple. It's such a, like, I think one of our biggest traits and characteristics that we all share that I think shows the most. So I'm saying all that because there's a lot of history with it. And you came to a place where you would just sing in the car for fun. But over time, it started developing and get more serious, especially when we moved out to a different church. You know, as you're growing up, you started a little bit more shy, and then you kind of needed to step up and fulfill a role. And I'm even blanking on, like, that jump of going from the shy girl that's like, you know, I like to sing, to now being, I think we both agree, one of the, like, I don't even want to say greatest, can't like call people great, but like spirit-led, anointed-filled worship leaders that, you know, we come across or we see. And, you know, you're amazing. Your singing is spectacular, but what makes you different is you have God coursing through you in worship. You don't even recognize people are there. It's just you and us jamming, lifting God's name, praising and worshiping him. So my question from all this is, how did you get from that step, if it's a mindset, perspective, if it's fulfilling a need, of going from that girl that's shy that likes to sing to now being a worship director at a church and having to step up and take on a lot of responsibilities of leading a church's worship and praise unto the Lord? There's one guy that quoted, he said, it's a daunting task to lead a congregation in worship because you're choosing the songs. And we can talk about the power of songs. I think you can go off on that. But the words you speak and what you sing to uplift and praise the Lord and worship the Lord, it's a big task to take that role to lead a congregation and be in such a vulnerable state where God changes and moves. Yeah. So how did you make that jump, or what were the steps or chapters that you went from shy girl to that role?
Well, I think everything that has played out in my life has been because of the grace of God. It's not been because of me. I am horrible at remembering dates or moments where I was like, oh yeah, no, I'm good now, or like, I'm not scared anymore. And I think it was definitely a process. When we first moved to where we moved in Missouri, Arkansas. I was a child, so I really didn't. I literally, again, have horrible memory. I'm so sorry. Oh, does that matter?
Huh?
Does that matter? Should I just keep going?
Yeah, you should be going. We should go. Little side notes.
We got dogs.
We
got dogs.
And they love saying hello to everyone and every movement.
I think I'm close to the mic, so it should be fine. And so.
Just really close to the mic during this part.
Got it.
No.
Check.
Don't eat it. Don't eat it.
Check. So I think that's obviously a huge part of it. I think that growing up, we were blessed to, at least I was, I don't know about you, Braedon, but I was blessed to kind of walk into a church that had people my age that had similar interests. One of my best friends to this day, my best friend, we do ministry together all the time. And that's so cool because we came out here, I met her. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
and so I think...
I thought she was talking about me.
Are you being legit?
Yes, Braedon.
For a second, I thought she was talking about me. I'm not even joking.
Well, and
Are
you.
serious?
I'm not
I'm
even
just
joking.
saying.
I was like,
Yo, dagger to the heart.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, okay,
Sorry,
let me talk.
We're taking off the track. Okay.
But
The
like,
friends.
yes,
We're in
the
street
people
together.
that we kind of started to become friends with when we moved here, like that was like itself a blessing. And I think everything happens for a reason. God has everything planned out and laid out for your life. If you stay submitted to Him, everything will come to pass. And so I feel like I literally, like, it's been so long since everything kind of how my life has happened. Hey, Loki. That I don't have like a distinct answer, only but God. I think that when we moved to our next building, I think the person that was originally over music definitely saw something in me. I think that by growing up with the family that we grew up in, musical worship leaders already, like both of our parents have been worship leaders or are worship leaders, and just people that are in ministry that understand dedication and loving people and serving people and Christ. That's all I've ever known growing up in the church and in our family, which again is a huge blessing. And so I think that I was really just stepping into my purpose at that transition. And God placed everything together when it needed to be together. I've learned so much since that. I don't even know how old I was because that's how bad I am with dates and years. I'm 22 now, so 19, 20?
I have no idea.
Probably like 20 when I was over it.
oh, I thought.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I thought you were 19.
Maybe I was 19. That sounds about
You
right.
just turned your age.
So true.
You just turned your
barely
age.
22. Anyway, what was I gonna say?
You just
with
said
that?
how you turned your age. What does that mean?
I just turned 22.
No, don't give me that. Don't.
This is right. What do you mean,
Don't.
Caeden?
He said turned your age.
Yeah, I just turned. Well, I am now.
I like.
No, but that doesn't.
I like this.
Okay.
I like this.
Okay.
I get it. I'm with it. What was I gonna say with that? Oh, ever since I have been over it, I've learned so much more than just music stuff. I've learned how to work with people, how to communicate well. I'm still working on those things. And just how to like be a team leader, how to lead people, let alone a congregation, but a team of people that are doing the same thing that you're doing. We're all up there leading worship. You know what I'm saying? And definitely creating that culture of freedom and being led by His Spirit. But I think that the biggest thing that was the turning point for me is my relationship with God. Like just we had a couple services this weekend, and the preacher was talking about pursuing God, and so I feel like my relationship has gotten so much deeper, and that's how I've been able to do everything that I'm doing right now, or how I'm able to really, when I'm leading, I'm really leading myself. I'm leading people,
Right.
and there's a moment, right, to kind of be in yourself and like having this moment with God, because you should not just be up there hyping people up or trying to get people to worship, because it should just be a moment of worship. At least that's how I view it. You do obviously have to be aware of everything in time and be sensitive to his God's spirit and where he's leading or where he's wanting to go. But also have the is it practical the right word? But the other parts of the service where you're also leading a team of people and the congregation. So you have to be organized.
Right.
And, let people know where you're going. It's not just me singing. It's a whole team singing and playing. And so, yeah.
No,
I think that's all I can think of, but it's just God. Like, there's really no explanation of how, because I used to be so nervous. I have a swallowing problem right now. When I get nervous, I literally swallow, like I don't even know the correct term. My glands just open up and I gotta swallow. Like, my saliva is producing. And so it was really bad when I would sing when I was young. And then you would just be fixating on your saliva, so then you can't even finish a word without cutting out. And I remember it used to happen all the time. You guys can probably remember moments.
Spirit lead me where my could ever want.
Seriously, I actually get that from my dad. I'm gonna call my dad out right now. He has the same problem.
But with Suede?
Suede, right? No, sometimes when he's talking, I don't think it's nerves anymore. When he's talking sometimes. I don't know if you've ever heard him while he's preaching. Sometimes he'll cut out. I feel sorry. But while you're singing and you're crying, you can't just be sorry everyone.
Yeah.
You just kind of have to go with it. Sometimes I hope that people think my microphone just cut out.
Yeah.
But
it goes.
I just keep going. It's fine.
From Soul I.
That's how it feels. I literally have to close my mouth and swallow. It's so awkward. But I've gotten to this point where life goes on.
Yeah.
It's not about you at all. That's the beauty of worship.
Yeah.
It's not about you, and you can kind of just be yourself. God fills in all the gaps that where you lack. So.
Right. So you like what Braedon was saying, that you come from a musical family who have been worship leaders, who even Braedon is on every Sunday, and music ministry is your guys's foundation. Not your foundation, but
I get what you're saying.
It's what you're quote unquote known for, what Braedon was saying. My question to you, I have two questions, but my first question, just to take a step back, when you said it was your purpose of becoming, God directed you into this purpose.
Yeah.
What were you doing before, and how did you know that it was the right steps to take?
I think, well, that was weird, sorry. I think that, I don't know if I have a direct answer for that, but I think it was a door that I could not open myself. And we hear all the time, if there's a door open, walk through it. If it's the wrong door, walk back out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so this was something that I did not do myself. It's not like I asked to be this or to do this. It was literally given to me without me even knowing at first.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? It was conversations with the person that was doing it before, my father, who's my pastor, and my boss, and my friend. It was conversations like that, and my dad would even tell me he was nervous for me, if I was even ready yet. He didn't want, because ministry is not easy. You're working with people, that's ministry is people.
Right.
And it's really hard because there's so many different types of people in this world, and let alone you're a different type of person. So communicating and conflict and resolution are all these really hard things that still to this day I have to constantly check myself, check my heart, seek guidance on what to do with things. And so, but anyway, what I'm saying with that is I think that it was just something that was not by my strength or my control. So I knew that it was God. And I had my leadership backing me up with it.
Right.
The people I submit to, you know? But I think before, I've always been a creative person. I think the older I've gotten, the less I've been creative just because life gets busy. But I used to draw all the time. I played instruments in like when I was a kid and in middle school. I used to make YouTube videos, but I wouldn't edit them. It was literally on my mom's old laptop, and still to this day, we can go back and watch those videos, and it's hilarious because I'm like vlogging at like age
with
10.
the laptop. She's vlogging with the laptop. It's not even like a phone.
Like
camera.
Younger than 10.
She goes, "Hello everyone, it's me, Ella."
Right now, I'm at a store and I'm like in my room shopping my stuff. Like, it was funny. And Braedon also made videos.
There's one time she'd be drinking water and she'd be like, I have to use the bathroom so bad. And then she'd be like, oh my goodness.
No, that video to this day is the funniest.
Yeah.
Is
my mom coming?
No, literally. I used to go to the same school that my mom would work at. She is a speech pathologist. And so the school that she was at, she had this office, and we would have to get there early. So I was with her in her office while she had like her day meetings or whatever they're called.
At the end of the day. At the end of the day, too.
And at the end of the day, yes. So maybe it was actually the end of the day.
It's probably.
And so she would leave her laptop in the room with her. So I had nothing, or in the room in her office when she left. So I had nothing to do. I could have done homework. I could have drew. Could have colored. No, I'm making videos of myself just drinking water. In this specific video, I like try to pull the cap off, and it splattered on her computer. So
Her work computer.
So I start freaking out. And so, like, I'm actively, like I'm still recording myself. So you can see, like, in real time, me get up, grab something. Like, it's so funny. There's also a video Braedon made once. Because there's, like, on the photo booth, app.
I think it's like, I don't know if it's the iMovie or something. Oh,
it was photo booth.
For a Mac.
You could do effects on the screen during the video. So there's one effects that had, like, the fisheye. So, like, it's really big in the middle, and then it's, like, small inside. And so Braedon actually did one where he's like, is this thing on? We are at Sonic. We were at Sonic in the backseat with my parents, making a video on her laptop. Like, why were we doing this? I don't know. But, and then he, like, comes back, and it's, like, dark in the car, so he looks literally bald.
I do. I look bald.
On top of his head being so round and big. And he's like, hello, I'm the bald guy. It was so funny. And I'm just, like, laughing. And I'm like, Braedon, my voice was so high-pitched.
Mine was, too. But
yeah,
my hair
so
was
funny.
short as well. So the light just hit it right. I'm like, I'm Braedon. I'm the bald guy.
Bald guy.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, anyway. So I was really creative as a kid. And so I think that I've always been into music. Again, horrible memories. So I don't even really remember. I'd have to sit down and pray that God would give me memories because, yeah. But I think I've always been into music. I mean, we've grown up going to my parents' music practices and their choir practices, and so it's always been in me. And actually, like, singing in general, when you grow up in that, like, everyone in my family, I think, has the ability to sing because we've all grown up in music. And when that's all you hear chords and you hear keys and you hear notes
and parts.
It's in you.
Right.
Parts. It's like in you. I can't really explain it. It just so. I think just over the years, I've been tuning the skill that I've already had. It's not something that I was necessarily taught, and it still has so much growth to do. Yeah. So
so going on to my second question. So, as you said, you stepped into this position, or you didn't even know that you were given this position at first, but you were given it at 19, 20. We'll just be safe and just add that other one. And prior to you jumping into that, there were adults leading it.
Yes.
Above 30.
Yes.
There was adults above 30 that were leading that. And usually when you go to a church, they're above
Yeah.
Above 30. Like around I almost said our state. But around this place, this
Kansas,
world, this
Arkansas.
Kansas, Arkansas, California, everyone is of the age of established as adult. They're living their life. They have a family and all this stuff. What was it like stepping into that with the challenges, but also what was it like feeling all of that, everything at once? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so. I've gotten much better at handling it. Mm-hmm. But I think at first I had no idea what I was doing. I mean, and like I was an intern at one point, so I got to like have time to not just be thrown into the wolves, but like learn how to make the schedule, like stuff like that, and learn leading in general, because that is a skill that you can learn, is how to like lead. And so I definitely had time, but when it was like just me, my mom came in clutch because she's done it for so long, on top of like at our church, but also for youth. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's definitely daunting stepping into anything that's new, especially being young and not knowing a lot. But I'm so thankful for my mom and my dad, who have both had previous experience in it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so I would talk to them probably every day about like what I should do or what they think. But it's cool because they were very patient with me, and they wouldn't ever tell me what to do, which drove me insane sometimes. But they would give me space to learn, that's how things click and stay, is when things are done on your own, you know? But they were very patient with me. I would have moments that are ugly, you know, because I'm dealing with people for the first time, like ever, like on this scale. And so like I would get angry very fast. I grew up having a little bit of an attitude, kind of sassy. Sometimes it comes out still. I feel like I've gotten better though.
Comment from Braedon.
What would you say, Braedon?
Cheers.
Which means yes.
Thank you. But like it was definitely not easy. But it has taught me, again, horrible memory. Sorry. We should just add that to like the title. This is Jalen, horrible memory. But I don't I think sometimes when you go through hard times, sometimes your brain blots that out. You know what I'm saying? Or some emotions. But I've definitely had some big, hard emotions and hard things to deal with. But I think there's so much beauty in learning and growing from those hard moments, because now I have much more control of my attitude, and I have gotten to a point where I think you're kind of juggling, right? This thing of, okay, we want to be spirit-led, but also we need to be organized, and I have everyone and their mom telling me their opinions, and like that's just ministry in general.
Right.
And just figuring out kind of my flow on top of all of that, of like, I don't want to lose myself in this. I don't want to be someone else in this. Like, there's a reason that God placed me here, but I need to be myself because he made me, uniquely. And so definitely, though, learning from other people that I've admired or people before me that have definitely paved the way, or that I like from other churches or other denominations, even, of just how they kind of did it and how they led, and how, you know, watching videos or meeting them in person of just like how they kind of operated. But I also think my parents have been the biggest role models in my life of just how to do ministry well and how to love people well, because that was definitely a challenge for me. It's not being like, wow, this is dumb and stupid. Why would anyone think that or do something like this or whatever? But
No, we don't cut. We don't cut. Remember, we don't.
I've gotten to a point where, you know, like, you got to learn a lot of those big feelings like sympathy and empathy. Some people are just naturally more empathetic, but some people aren't. And you got to learn how to see from different perspectives because every person's different. And so, yeah, I think that's...
Do you have some?
Did that answer the question?
Yeah, no, that answered it amazing.
Okay,
Like,
I love everybody. I feel like...
No, you're great. Honestly,
God, by the grace of God. Again, by the grace of God, I'm doing this.
No, seriously. Real quick before I ask this question, Braedon and I get the honor, and I say honor because you're like what Braedon was saying. He didn't want to say the word great because everyone's great, but we.
But Trig.
But yeah,
Triggered. Well, thank you guys.
Triggered.
Triggered.
But we get the opportunity and the honor to be able to play quite frequently, and you make it very well. You make it very, very enjoyable, and you allow people. One thing about your leadership is you allow people to have a voice, and and you hear them out. And I think Braedon and I, we don't complain about playing because we just follow.
Never. I can barely get them off.
We follow. we just follow you.
I'm like, do you guys want to break? They're like,
do.
No, we're fine. I'm like, okay.
I don't even know what that word means. Do you know what that word means?
I hear this term burnout. I don't know what that means though.
Okay, Braedon has been playing drums for his whole life.
And he's
Every
absolutely
Sunday.
incredible at it. Like, honestly, I want to do a podcast where I talk to Braedon and ask him questions.
I want to do a podcast with you.
Should we do that right now?
Let's start a podcast.
So welcome to
Jill asks us questions. Okay?
welcome to BC Pro episode 24.
Hey, good
so
segue.
Braedon,
All
you've
right.
been but actually that was a good segue. Watch this. So speaking about burnout, from someone who is stepping into that and having all this thing at such a young age, still, I think you were in school when you were given, and you were working.
Sure.
Okay. So you were doing school. You were
Sometimes.
enrolled in school. You were enrolled in a school.
Online school.
But like with all that, I think the question that someone may have is how have you not gotten burnt out? Because
I think also going off of that, because I have a question.
Yeah.
I think it could relate. So two birds with one stone. So he's referring to burnout, but I also was going to ask, what is your process? Can we peek behind the curtain a little bit? Okay. Share what you think is shareable. But what's your process when it comes into creating a set, to creating a routine, building a relationship with God while being in a leadership role? Because I think you have to definitely take different steps and devote much more time to fulfill those needs and those responsibilities. So along with burnout, and I'm sorry I cut you off, but whatever you're going to add with that. But what's the process of maybe as simply, because I think we both agree, not only very talented, God gifted and everything like that, but I think there's a lot of things that people can learn from you, younger people that are coming up, or even to the fact that older people, you bring innovation, to this ministry. And I think that's awesome. I think that's what gets a lot of people's attention. But anywhere in ministry, you can take it and create a blueprint and then apply it elsewhere, and it can provide growth. Yeah. And I think what you do, you allow growth. Right now, you're heading up a workshop at our church.
Yes.
So it's just not only the burnout, but what's the process to, I guess, avoid that?
Yeah.
But also to, as simple, choose which songs you're singing on Sunday.
Okay.
If you can kind of...
Yeah, I'm going to answer the burnout question first, but it'll go into that. So it all comes down to your lifestyle and truly having a lifestyle of worship. Worship doesn't just mean songs or singing or lifting your hands. It's how you live your life. And so I think for me, it definitely was a process. I had moments where I wanted to stop, but I think everyone does. especially at such a young age. I'm dealing with some hard things at a young age. But like I said before, there's a reason for everything. And God already, if you believe that he already has your life planned out for you, you know, you kind of have that confidence that, okay, I'm made for this. There's something in me that is able to do this. And so reminding yourself of that and staying confident in God and who he is, which is always a struggle sometimes, to trust and have faith, but keeping that faith. And then having a lifestyle, like I said, of worship. So being devoted to God. And that can look like many things. It's different for everyone. We were recently at a hyphen conference, and he was talking about, I think in the morning, was it? About prayer walks and stuff. How praying was so boring to him. He just didn't understand how he could just sit there and pray and not hear anything back, and you're talking to or whatever. And some people can sit and pray for hours. But he realized that with himself and the type of person that he is, he needed to go on walks. Or like be like,
I wish I was there.
Like walking around and praying, or doing prayer walks. He's like, not the ones where you are casting out every demon from every house. Or like going against the spirits over the whatever. But just like walking and talking, it could be in your mind or out loud to God. Like you're walking with him. And so I think that kind of goes with inviting him in every aspect of your life, praying without ceasing. I cannot quote the verse. Somewhere in the Bible talks about that. Praying without ceasing. So constantly, everywhere you go, everything you do, you're inviting God into it by maybe talking to him out loud, or praying in your head of like, God, I need you right now, or go before me. You know what I'm saying? Right. All that stuff or just like, God, wow, what just happened was really cool. Or wow, what just happened? That hurt. Help me. You know? I think God wants to be present in each and every one of our lives. So making sure he's present in your life. Because I want to be, there's a verse in Psalm that says that, like, I don't know the exact words, but I think it's Psalm 139, somewhere in there where like God thinks of man, like he cares, like, who am I that you're mindful of me? That's not verse 1 or chapter 139, but that's somewhere in Psalms, I believe. But who am I that you're mindful of me? Like, God cares about mankind. He wants to be in our lives. And I want him to be like, right, Jayla, what's up? Thanks. Hi, I'm doing well. How are you? So that's, yeah. And just being devoted to him. So devoted in your prayer life, but if you pray without ceasing, you have that. But also having moments where you are sitting in his presence and worshiping him and listening to music that feeds your soul, because like Braedon said, music is so powerful, and it is spiritual. Whatever you listen to is spiritual. There are songs out there that have, I just learned that Satan's name in Spanish is Diablo. There is a song that literally says Diablo in it. I didn't even know. You know what I'm saying? Like there's things and messages, and it's just all spiritual. So listening to things that uplift your soul and that feed you. Because music can literally determine your mindset. If you're ever sad, why would you listen to a sad song? That's going to make you even more sad. But we all want to. We want to be in our feels sometimes.
Want to give into our emotions.
Yes, and we can't, because that's our flesh. So, yes, burnout. Definitely I've felt it before, borderline. But remembering why you're doing something, remembering the why, staying connected to God, and staying passionate about what you're doing. There's definitely been moments where I'm like, I don't even want to do this. But I know that's my flesh. I know that I'm in a weak spot. Right. I'm tired. So making sure you're resting, you're Sabbathing. And maybe that won't be like a whole day, but at least a time or a moment, maybe in the mornings or in the evenings, where you're having moments of resting in God or just resting, sleeping, taking care of yourself, being healthy. Braedon could talk hours about that. And so I think staying connected to God, He is the vine, we are the branches, so staying connected to the vine, because He will help us, He will sustain us, He will feed us, He will water us, everything. And what was the other thing I said? Staying connected to God, resting.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. There's a dog walking outside.
Two dogs, to be
dogs.
sure. You actually probably could see them here.
Anyway.
Braedon, let us know about health.
So let me tell you
Oh,
about
now they're
health.
done. Ilana, please
Let me
stop.
tell you about
Say
health.
hi.
H stands for health.
E stands for
E's for
eat.
E stands for elf. A stands for
Alf.
elf. L stands for oaf.
Loaf.
T stands for f. H stands for hippopotamus.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That's it. That's all you need to know.
And we're coming back from that intermission.
So, staying connected to God, having moments with Him, but also remembering the why. There it is. Remembering the why you're doing this. It's to reach people. It's to live a life where God can use you as a vessel to reach people, and your why is so the Spirit of God can do what the Spirit of God wants to do.
Right.
What He wants to do, that's what I'm here for, you know?
Yeah.
And then resting, I think.
Yeah, that's good.
And then going off of Braedon's question, going into that, your relationship with God is everything. It took me a while to figure out. Just recently I was talking to my parents again, because they're my role models, and my mentors and everything, and my pastors,
And your friends.
and my friends. I was recently talking to them. I was so frustrated because sometimes I obsess over picking out songs, and it's so, like, it's a lot sometimes. And so it obviously is a lot because, like Braedon said, like, it's a daunting task to be in control of what other people are declaring or singing or whatever. And honestly, it doesn't feel that daunting when you're doing praise songs and worship songs, I feel like. But being sensitive to what's going on in the church, what are the needs of the church?
Right.
So being in prayer, and just really submitting your mind to God, and just like, my thoughts, God, you plant the seed. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
Obviously you want to be in the will of the Lord. And so, but I recently sat down with my parents and I was like, listen, I'm struggling with, like, borderline crying. I was like, I'm struggling with this. It's driving me insane because I keep obsessing and thinking of the songs, or I could have done this song, or what about, why didn't I do that, or whatever. When it's not really about that. It's about God and His Spirit and His will. And so they just encouraged me to, like, pray about it and have faith that whatever songs that you picked and that you felt are from God, and that God will touch it and He will anoint it. And so that was definitely something that really helped me. Process-wise, all of our songs are due on Monday nights. So everything has to be on my Monday. And so with Sunday, I serve pretty much every Sunday. Some Sundays I give myself off. But it's a lot. You're definitely pouring out a lot by leading worship and just being on the team in general, serving at that capacity. And so I think making sure it's heavy sometimes. On Monday, I just want to sleep in and I don't want to do anything. But I think just making sure that you're taking care of yourself and resting as well, but also just being in His presence continually. So I think Mondays, I don't really think about songs the week before because I'm thinking of each week. So sometimes if there is a song that I feel, though, or that I'm like, oh, we haven't done that in a while, I'll just kind of write it down in my notes. That's where I kind of do a lot of brainstorming. I have so many notes, not even just for that. Some of them are just, say, like, iPad. Those, like, reminders of me to grab something or whatever. But so I write down stuff on notes, and then I just kind of like I give myself space and time. Like even today, I thought of a list. I prayed that God would just have his way, but I'm not going to send a text out at all yet or really finalize anything because I just wanted to kind of sit on it. I don't want to ever make just brash decisions unless I'm really confident that God is telling me that's the way to go. But obviously you need to be in communion with God to hear him and to be in his will. But then what were you talking about?
I was talking about the process of which you picking songs, or the process of which just kind of taking a step back, or like.
I had an answer.
Like
that was
are you asking like what is music directing? Like what does that entitle?
No, it's just like just like the process and going and making those decisions. I was talking about like how you're younger and like what younger people can take from you or older people and like innovation. I mean, if we're kind of if you don't have a thought, I have another thing that can maybe lead.
Well, let me see if this answers it. Because while you were saying everything before, I thought of something, and I think that I might have thought about it again, but I don't know. I'm huge on flow, like major. That's one of the, obviously being organized in the flow and having a structure, but making sure that it's not Final Cut Procast, VC Procast.
This video is sponsored by Final Cut Pro.
That God can't have space. And so when I pick songs, the last half of the set tends to be medleys. I don't really do a lot of full songs, especially that last song, because I want God to have a space. One thing that drives me insane is when a song starts and it ends, and a song starts and it ends, and a song starts and it ends. There's no flow. I'm crying and we're on to the next song. You know, like I always want to be sensitive to people, but also help create a moment of worship, a worship experience, not just we're singing these 3 songs and we're ending after this chorus and I always want there to be room. So I think medleys have naturally a great way for you to flow. You can easily go back, you can easily go in. And so I pretty much almost every Sunday do a medley. And actually recently I was thinking about it. I was like, I rarely do full songs at the end of sets. Like, I wonder if people are like, dang, I love that first verse though, and she never sings that, but I just try to be obedient but I always think about the flow. So even with the keys that I pick, obviously you want them to be comfortable for your voice. But also, how will this song flow into this song, and even with the key vibe. One time I was listening to this podcast about this, and one of the ladies was like, and I totally agree with what she's saying, but she said, God doesn't care about keys. He doesn't. Quite frankly, I don't even know if he cares about what we sing, as long as we're praising him or worshiping and we're connecting with him. But like that kind of I was like, oh, I really care, because I never want there to be a break. When you're in the zone, like when you're in having a moment with God, I would hate for someone to us to stop the song and change the key when someone's having a moment. I don't really like when there's a break, and that might just be personal, but I've always found that there's so much more freedom and liberty when you can easily flow in and out. And even last Sunday, first of all, Spirit of God was there. Second of all, we had a medley of 3 songs, and both services, we did not do the second song, which is fine. I wasn't attached to it. But I would just look at Caeden and I would say, well, at the first service I said, goodness of God. But
she mouthed it, and I'm
He's
not great at reading lips. So.
I'm not great at being a lip person, reader. I'm on the other end of lip reading. So I get that. I was saying it and I was like, he probably has no idea what he's saying. So anyway, after first service, he said, Jayla, just say 3. So I did that. But you just have more flexibility, I think. Especially because, like, our first opening song went so much longer than usual. It was awesome. But so we had to cut a song. And so that, it kind of helps if, like, there's already a flow planned.
Right.
That makes sense.
It's actually kind of funny when you threw up the 3. I'm like, there's a verse 3?
Dude,
No,
I literally told her that to put 3, and when she did that, I forgot what that meant. Like,
no,
what?
it looked like you looked like a deer in the headlights for a second. I was like, we need them.
I was like, verse 3? I don't think there's a verse 3. Okay, we're going back into it. Let's go.
And so I think that's something I think about with vocals and stuff. We have a very like large variety, I think, of ages, so demographic. I could have said that. People with different backgrounds and different skill sets and all that stuff. So I just like try to do what works with our team. And so I look at who's singing and who's playing, and normally that doesn't determine what we're singing, but so sorry. But do you guys want to let them out?
Let them
let
out.
them go out.
Braedon, can you give another intermission?
Sorry, guys. They have a lot to say about this.
What state is known for little drinks?
Minnesota.
A mini soda. What is orange and sounds like a parrot?
Carrot.
A carrot. I was going to say that.
I was just guessing.
You remember my last one I said?
No.
I don't remember either.
Do you remember Tim Hawkins' dad joke that he did? I forgot. But I thought that. I was like, Braedon probably appreciates that.
Wasn't the COVID one?
Maybe. Yeah, I think so.
Well, how did it go?
I forgot.
One of the jokes that he said, which I don't know if we should be saying it.
Maybe we
that's
should.
where they're going.
Never mind. You guys can probably think about a good
he was
joke.
he's talking about almonds, of how like nowadays like people eat like food and like they're always like there's always something wrong with eating the food. And so he comes in and he's eating almonds and his wife goes, "You know, you're only supposed to have 10 almonds a day." And he goes,
3.
"No, 10.
Oh, I said 10. Never mind.
I just finished my 3rd handful of almonds. He's like, I think I had 10 months of almonds in this one sitting. Am I gonna die?
Yeah, he was funny. Check him out on YouTube. He's really funny.
And back to our main program.
We just
or like they're on like newscast, they go, and to
back
you.
to you.
Hey, we're out here right now in live.
Thank you, Braedon.
And back to you now.
Okay, so I forgot what I was
Let's
saying.
kill that joke.
You just want to keep going?
Let's beat it like a dead horse. And back to you, Joe.
I'm not gonna do it.
No, say it back to me. Say it back to me. Say it back to me. Say it back to me.
And back to you, Braedon. No, literally. They gotta fix that audio leg because the camera's on.
It's
still.
2024. Come on.
No, literally, or turn off the camera. What was I saying? I was talking about singers and stuff. And so the process we do is just kind of. I also have a problem with keys because I changed. But what I mean by key is like the key of the song, not like keys. I change the key of the songs we do all the time because of the medleys that we do. So sometimes they change. So I'll send vocal parts if needed, but I really try to create a culture in the team where I want everyone to be able to kind of go along with the flow and not feel like trapped in anything. And so musician-wise, but also vocally, it's just something that I feel like God has just placed on my heart. That's how I worship and how I want our culture to be on the platform, but also in our church. And I think when there is that freedom of, obviously we're prepared and we come prepared, or we try to at least, you're able to lean back on something if something's not hitting or whatever, but you also give God so much room. And I'm not like obsessed with how things sound. But obviously there is a level of excellence that we should uphold, and God deserves our best, you know? But most importantly, he just wants your heart, and he just wants all of you and your passion. And so we have fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Jayla likes to do, she's definitely have created a new culture in our church and how we worship and stuff. It goes similar to like this. She would be like, hey, I want to do the song. The only thing is, I want to change the beat. Braedon, I want you to do this on the verse instead of how, like the song, we're going to just stick with the lyrics. That's it.
Really?
We're only just going to say the lyrics. We're just going to come up with our own stuff.
And with the lyrics, we're going to take this part and repeat it.
Like 10 times.
And then we're actually going to not do the verse.
And
that's legit.
It honestly has been an absolute blast. And she's taken worship into a new atmosphere, and I mean, God has been just been doing his thing.
Power, man.
And doing his thing.
That's exactly it. He's been doing his thing.
Yeah.
But it all starts with our personal devotion, right? The way I worship on Sunday, I worship at my house.
Right.
In my room when everyone's gone.
Or when
they're all here still.
You just hear like screaming.
And that's not to say anything, but it's all about what you do Monday through Saturday.
Right.
It really is. One thing that came up to my mind when you were talking about songs and stuff, because I've always been a creative, I've been more creative than, what's the other thing in schools and stuff? Where you're like books and stuff and structure. And he's literally a teacher and he doesn't know this.
How do you not know this?
There's a word,
don't know
and
what
you
he's
probably are all
talking about.
thinking it right now. Comment down below what it is. But anyway, I really want the team in general to get creative too. So there's a lot of times where like we'll repeat stuff, or we're doing an interlude, and one of the other singers will start singing something. I'm like, yes, let's get it. Like, it's not just on me, which I love. It's everyone.
Yeah.
And so the musicians doing fun things, or half the time, Caeden has to talk about Mike, but half the time Braedon's calling all the calls. Or if like I do this, which means cut, sometimes he'll say no, like to Caeden, and Caeden can't do anything about it.
Yeah, it would be awkward if we all cut and he just stuck his same beat.
But it's definitely a team, and I love it, because if it was all on me, that would just be stressful.
Yeah, Braedon and I do have a lot of conversations. He's like the president.
He is kind of the president.
I'm the vice president. I'll be like,
well,
hey.
I'm probably the president.
No,
you're not the president. You're not
okay, no.
She can say first two. We say no.
I think she's Secretary of State, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe a senator.
Nah, let's not push it. One thing,
rep.
Braedon and I, we have another pastor. His name is Pastor Ian, and we love to try to get him to sing, because he has a great voice, unbelievable voice, and we know if we hype him up enough, he'll start singing.
We'll talk about like when he comes up. They're talking about when he comes up to like transition into like
he's the transition guy sometimes, and so we go, we're gonna.
So it's
bump
after like
it up.
the first song.
So we'll bump it up and try to get him to sing. And then one time, him and I were talking, and he was like, "Hey, I'm very grateful that you guys like always have that door open for like if ever God is leading him into that." He said just one thing. One thing that you guys don't know how to do is when to shut the door. And we're like,
What did you say? What did you say?
What did I say? I seriously can't remember.
You said, I don't know what that is, what that means.
Oh,
Or something like that.
Yeah. I don't know what shutting the door
what that
means.
is.
We just like to keep
Walks
it going.
away.
It's honestly, like, I think we can all attest to this, that like that's a way we worship, and to be in God's presence at that level.
Right.
And like you don't want to like leave it. And so like yes, we mess around like trying to get him to keep him going again or something like that, but like it all comes from the place from like the heart of like this is a moment of worship and praise. And it's usually a fun song that's uplifting and is joyful.
And it's upbeat, which is Braedon's favorite.
Yes, but like it's not even just like that, but it's just like the words that we're proclaiming in a lot of those kinds of songs are like praise. There's a difference between worship and praise. They're both glorifying to God, but like, you know what I mean? One's, I think you could do a great job at explaining the difference, but it's just like we want to be in that spot a little bit more. Mm-hmm. So it's like, it's the fun side of like, all right, let's go back into it. But it's also like, you know, we're not ready to leave the moment yet. And, you know, it's cool.
We don't know how to shut the door. That door is
it's
like
wide open. There's actually what's that thing called? A door stopper. So it can't even.
It actually does. We actually took the hinges off the door. There's actually no door there.
No door anymore.
But one last question I have for you, Jayla, before we enter our little fun questions, because we like to end it on a light note that Braedon started.
The way you're sitting so close to him, and
that's literally what I've been saying this whole time. His arms around me, tapping.
You're like in the middle
ear.
of the couch.
It's like all over me. Guys, that's why I'm showed up. That's why I'm like this. I'm like, why is this guy all up in my space?
And that's all I was thinking about when Braedon was talking.
Like how close he was to me.
He literally is like.
That's what I'm saying.
That's funny though.
I love
supporting you anyway.
I'm a very good supporter for Braedon.
Did that answer your question, Braedon?
Yes.
Process?
Yes,
okay.
What is your advice for someone who's stepping into a big role, like music directing, or maybe it's another big role in something else? By the way, Braedon yawns crazy.
While
That's
he's
not why
talking,
you're
hey,
yelling.
if he's not talking, it's not important. He's bored. He's tired. I get it.
She's joking.
I'm joking.
What were you saying?
What is do you have a better way of asking this question?
No,
He was just making a joke.
What is like your advice for someone stepping into that big role?
Stay humble. And don't let it change you in that way. Like, continue to be yourself. Like I stated earlier, God has uniquely designed every single person for a purpose. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we have multiple purposes or multiple callings. And so it's give it your all and continue to fall in love with Jesus. Like, don't ever lose that connection, because that's what carries you. That's what strengthens you. Stay in his word. It's hard sometimes, but like, keep pursuing him. Even if you get busier, like, I've gotten to a point where I'm just like, I need you. Like, I can't do anything that I do. On top of music, I also manage a coffee shop, which is also working with people, which is also ordering things and dealing with money and any situations or problems with customers. Like, I can't do this on my own. So just staying humble in that way of like, God, I'm completely reliant on you. And sometimes it looks different than other times or certain seasons. But yeah. And then just learning and not walking into it thinking that you kind of know what you're doing, because we all know you don't. I didn't. I still kind of don't. But like, always learn, read books, listen to podcasts, talk to people. I think it took me a minute because I was nervous to like talk to people that like knew what they were doing or that I admired. And so just continually growing, like, don't stop, because that's not like,
right.
It's a purpose for you. Yes, it's a calling. It's a ministry, but the real thing, the only thing that really matters is God and your relationship with him. That's all he cares about. He just wants you. He doesn't want your position. He doesn't care about that at all. And he can take you places that you cannot even step into by yourself. And so just really relying on him, because there's moments that are very hard and you question a lot. I've never been like clinically depressed, but you go through depressive moments because you're just like dealing with people and heavy things, and you're stressed and you're overwhelmed, and it's hard to see how it could get any better. You know?
But then God.
But God. So that's why you got to stay close to him, because he changes your perspective. He puts light on your darkness, and he really just, he wants to help you. He wants to be a part of everything that you're doing because he placed you there. You know? Again, I did not do this myself, and neither did anyone else that got into a role themselves or a position. But staying humble, because roles and positions mean nothing in heaven and in the kingdom. It doesn't. Like, you are there for a purpose, to fulfill a role, yes, but the most important thing is just loving people and showing them Christ and leading them to God.
That's good.
And so I'm saying Christ, God, Spirit, they're all one. We all know this. They're Jesus.
Come on.
He has multiple names.
Oneness.
You know? Yeah, so.
Baptism.
Holy
Speaking in
Spirit,
holy tongues.
Holy Ghost. Yeah, we believe that stuff, because that's in the Bible.
Pentecostal.
That is biblical.
So I think we very much appreciate, we're going to get into some fun questions. I already have 2 off the top of the dome. But I think we both very much appreciate you taking it to the level of showing us what it's like to be in that position, what it's like to grow in a position. We heavily talked about worship and praise and worship leading in church. And there's a lot more to you. There's athleticism that you waste.
Oh, thank you, Braedon. Okay.
Just because
He's just jealous of
I am
me.
jealous, because if she actually did something, whatever.
He literally, no, I'm telling them.
Okay.
He openly admitted that if I was a boy, I'd be more athletic than him.
Yeah. And good thing she's a girl, and also whatever. Anyway. And 3, I don't care. And 4, you're Dan. Okay. We appreciate that there's much, much more to her. There's a whole other side of being a managerial, oh my goodness, role.
Yeah, managerial.
Helping run a coffee shop, business stuff like that. She's really accomplished a lot, and she's taken a lot on at her age. A lot of people like work to get there, and she really fell into it and got into a spot where she, helping manage a business on top of having, a position that's often held by people much older. So we applaud you, and you definitely great and have accomplished a lot what you've done. And so we appreciate you taking the time and opening up and talking and being vulnerable about,
I've been wanting to do this for so long.
But it's awesome. So I have 2 questions. Do you have any questions?
I'll be a middle one.
Okay. So my first one, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. These are 2 out of 3 of the most important guys in my life. So
Thank you.
That means the one, and there's Loki and your dad.
okay, like
4.
humans. Hello.
She means 4.
But
It
4.
goes Loki, I think.
It's your dad.
Yeah,
My
my
dad.
dad. Then us, Todd.
Then Braedon, and then Caeden. Caeden's at the bottom, bro. He's
fair.
not my husband.
That's fair. No, it's fair.
That's what's up.
Wait, don't say anything. Let's stop right here.
And back to
And back to you. And back to Caden's heart.
no.
So,
yeah.
first question. What is the most underrated song? Obviously, worship, praise, worship lead. What's the most underrated song? It does not get appreciated and loved.
I have mine.
Do you want him to go first?
Yeah, go first.
I believe it's called Make Away by
Made Away.
Made Away by Evolution.
Oh, Make Away. Make Away.
Okay. Make Away.
Make away.
If it's not obvious, it's underrated. We don't even know what it's called.
Yeah, it's literally so good.
No, it's
I
actually
woke
a great
up
song.
one day and
I
for
don't
some
even
reason
know.
it
I
was
don't
just
even have my
stuck
phone to
in my
look.
head. And then I was like, Jayla, we need to do this song. We need to do this song. But it's
Okay.
honestly amazing.
I definitely have an answer for the best worship song, in my opinion. But
No, we don't want that.
we don't want that.
Underrated.
Okay, well,
Because all worship songs are great.
underrated.
Because they glorify God.
Underrated. Listen, I'm gonna say something, and then like an hour from now, I'm gonna be like,
okay.
no, it's
That's
actually this one.
Okay.
Every week, I feel like not week. every once in a while, there's a new song that kind of catches my eye and my spirits, and it's just like my anthem for the month. But I think right now,
You know the question, right?
yes,
Underrated.
I
You know what
know
that
where
means?
it's amazing, but
No
no
one.
one knows.
Okay. Just make sure.
But I can't do the most. I can think of some.
You could probably do Abby Gamboa songs.
Yeah, Abby Gamboa, she's my favorite. I love
want
her.
She's
Watch This
underrated.
right now.
I want underrated
Love
songs.
you. Probably Respond by Travis Green.
Yes. Oh my. Do you know that song?
No.
It is so good.
That shows on.
We actually recently just were singing it with our friends, and my friend went into
Maybe if I heard it.
If You Can Use Anything, which is like an old song, and it just fit. Oh my gosh, it was so cool. So I kind of want to do it, but it's a very like chill song.
It is.
But look it up. It's so good. It just made me think of something. Another song. I can't remember.
Respond.
Yeah, no, it's fine. But that song is really good. It's yeah.
What is a worship fail that happened? I had a feeling we had the same question.
Oh no.
So is that all of your question?
I was gonna say what's happened. It's either you or it's happened to, like while you were leading worship.
So that's part of my question, but the last part I was gonna add that, like, so what's a worship fail that you wish like never happened, but built character that you wish did happen, that you're happy it happened later.
Oh, that's a great question.
So it's like you're like, I wish this never happened, but afterwards, like, it built my character. I needed that to happen.
Easy answer, but I'll try to think of one that's a little bit more extreme. My swallowing. It was so embarrassing in the beginning. But honestly, growing with that disability, I've now like gotten to a point where I don't really like, if it happens, cool. I don't care. I'm still gonna worship. It's not gonna change anything. So that, but can you guys think of any from me? Voice cracks are awful. They're embarrassing. I've had a pretty bad one, I feel like, but I can't remember like what song or when.
I only know when like the band does stuff.
Right. Probably a voice crack at some point. I think I'm literally thinking of one, but I cannot remember like the details. It was so bad. Are you saying personal worship fails? Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do think of a friend of ours, which he's no problem with sharing it, because I think he even talked about, we had him on the, wait, no. I'm not trying to explain it, but he came into the verse and he sang the verse, first part, and then he didn't remember the rest of it.
This is funny.
So he kept on repeating it.
And he was so confident.
But he kept on like just more and more passion. Like you heard the same verse like 5 times in a row. And it was just like, he obviously didn't know the words, but you couldn't tell because of the passion and like his effort he was giving. Yeah. That was funny.
Yeah. We also had another one of our friends who plays bass. It was his first time getting back on the platform, and he was like very nervous. He was like, oh my goodness. And he got confident, and he was like, all right, let's do this. And so I was like, all right. And we're starting on the E major, and I was like, all right, rumble on the E. And then all of a sudden in my ears, I hear, and I like look over, and his bass strap broke off, and it slammed and hit the ground. And he like looked down, and he hesitated, like picked it back up, and then he still tried to play the song in as much confidence as he could. But his strings were messed up, so he was playing every note just like a half flat or like just a little bit off. And he was just like, oh my goodness, why now does this have to happen to me?
That was funny.
Braedon has had times where his stick has disappeared on him.
Yep.
I actually have
the
video.
The kick would come undone, like the kick drum, bass drum.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We were doing a song, Awake My Soul. That's a lit song. Maybe that's the most underrated. Awake My Soul is lit. And literally all of a sudden it just got so quiet. And I turned around and Braedon's just like, like a mid-song. And we're just going with it.
I would hit other stuff though while I was doing it.
Yeah.
I'd fix
He used
it
to
up.
play one-handed, actually.
That I still forget that he did that for months, and it's
What was that?
And it still sounded absolutely amazing. This guy's just a ball of talent. As
I
well.
feel like we're talking about Braedon a lot.
The worst.
I love Braedon.
No, the
Me
worst
too.
part about that was when I got both hands back. People were like, "Oh my goodness, I didn't even notice." you had one hand." So wait, all right, that means I did one hand really good, or I stink two-handed. Like what in the world?
You did one hand really good.
It's just funny because like he would just like sit there with like one and just go. Oh man, that was good
Yeah, I
times.
forgot about that. He broke his wrist or something.
Yeah, we have one more question.
Are you pancakes or waffles person?
Waffles.
Incorrect.
Can I explain?
French toast is actually superior.
Oh, sorry. I didn't
He's
know
done
was
that
a C.
before. That doesn't.
I didn't know it was
count.
an option C.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, you should have known.
Okay.
Do you like oranges or apples?
You gonna say bananas? Apples.
Wrong. African grapes.
I was thinking that.
Like
I was
I'm
thinking
saying,
that. That's actually pretty good.
So
Did you have
like,
grapes in Africa?
No, like I
Oh.
made that up, but he's just like, no, wrong. Actually, hot rod tires. And he's like, what?
Yeah, well, I mean, waffles are just superior, but would you okay if I put French toast in there?
Huh?
Did I say waffles are superior?
You just
Dude.
I meant French toast.
All
I
right,
meant
in the
French
comments what you think. Waffles or pancakes or French toast? Yeah, waffles for sure.
toast. Yeah.
No doubt.
You were gonna explain why, by the way.
Why? Because they're just a little bit more sturdy. And I
What-
like that. I like that.
What is the best superpower that you could possess?
There's one right answer.
No, there is no. Yeah, you're right. No, you're right. No, you're right.
Best superpower. Probably moving things with your mind.
Telekinesis.
Yeah. That'd be kind of cool.
Wrong.
Oh, sorry.
We'll say it on
Dang.
3. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Two, one,
Controlling
time.
time.
Yeah, I knew
funny?
you were going to say speed.
It was funny. You're like, wait, did you say on one? You went
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah, I
went
did.
1, 2, 3. Speed.
Tell
that's
us.
funny.
Yeah, telekinesis.
I think last thing we'll end on is why don't you just go off on how much you love our dogs and dogs in general, and then we'll end on that note.
My dogs are, first of all, not only the cutest dogs you've ever seen in your life, hands down, they're also fluffy. And Loki is 10. Cry face, cry face, cry face. He still acts like he's like 5, and it's awesome. He, though, has an attitude of, I'm going to do whatever I want, whenever I want. Lana, though, she's a loyal, man. She came from generations of sheep herders. So she listens, and she'll bug Loki if he's not listening. Fixes our problems. But they're amazing. They're so cute. I can't even stress that enough. And they're funny. Loki's funny. You just look at him and you start laughing.
It's actually true.
When
is.
he looked at us over here when you were talking,
Yeah.
and he's like,
Yeah, he'll
just
stare at
stands
you.
one pigeon
And then,
toe.
like, honestly, every time, he's also so funny because they're both poodle mixes. So, doodles. And he's very smart. They're both very smart. But his memory's insane. Dude, one time we had someone, like, nailing something on the ceiling, like a nail gun. He got so scared that he was, like, literally shaking in the corner as far as away he could get in the house. All of our doors were shut, so he couldn't even get, like, that far. And so now he's, like, scared of loud noises, literally, trauma. But also, every time there's people at our house, he goes by the pantry where the treats are, and the bones, and he growls, like, wags his tail, and, like, barks. Because every time I have people over, my mom gives them things so they're not bothering us. So, yeah.
Even on walks, he'll walk
Even
on
on
the
walks.
different sidewalk if he knows that
Like
there's like
he
a
had,
mean dog.
Yeah, like one time he had a bad experience with a dog. But Lana she's
Killer.
pretty,
She's the
yes,
goat.
She's literally a huntress. anything in our yard, if it's crawling or on the ground, she's gonna get it. So don't come crawling on our yard.
She's the GOAT. LeBron or Michael Jordan? Lana. She's
Literally, she's crazy. She also like looks like a girl, which is cool. Like her eyes are like feminine. Like she's like long eyelashes.
Usually guys have long
Anyway, I
eyelashes.
love my dogs.
Well,
Braedon, do you love them?
I do love them.
Okay.
well, that was episode 23 with the one and only Jayla
Jayla.
Yadinacek. Everyone clap. Nikki's probably screaming right now.
Love
saying,
you,
I
Nini.
love you. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. We're here to fuel your curiosity. Make sure you like you subscribe, turn on those post notification bell, and make sure that you share this with at least 50 people.
Oh.
And comment after you shared it with 50 people, I did it. And you could be put in.
They're commenting a lot.
You could be put into a video that Braedon and I are going to make, and we'll choose as many people as we can.
And if you made it this far, please comment down another thing. Your favorite dipping sauce.
Can I answer that question?
Yeah, go for it real quick.
Ranch.
Cheese, melted cheese.
There's no doubt
Ketchup.
ranch.
Ketchup.
Ketchup.
Ew.
All right,
That's
too
like
long.
the
Let's end on
worst
this.
one.
Make sure you pray today. Pray for other people. Pray for people you care about.
Yes.
God changes lives. He can change yours.
And listen to uplifting God music. It'll change your life.
Yeah.
That alone will change your life. Any
Caleb.
day.
Listen to Caleb.
Caleb.
Yeah.
We're sponsored by Caleb.
Sponsored by Caleb.
Yeah. Hey, we'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.
Peace.